Joining us now, Senator Tim Kaine, member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, welcome back.
Great, Shannon. Good to be with you.
Okay, I want to play something from Congressman Pat Harrigan. He is a Republican and serves on the House side. Obviously, he's a veteran. Here's what he says about where we are this morning.
The president followed the law here, and any assertion to the opposite is just fundamentally false. The War Powers Resolution gives the president the authority to act for up to 60 days without prior congressional approval. That authority exists for moments just like this when speed matters and American lives are on the line.
So, Senator, at this moment, do you think the president is in compliance with the law?
Absolutely. He is not. This is an illegal war, Shannon, because the representative cited a statute, but he neglected to mention the Constitution. And the Constitution can't be changed by statute. The Constitution says no declaration of war without Congress. The president has called this war against Iran. The president can act to imminently defend the United States against imminent attack if that happens without congressional approval, needing later ratification by Congress. But if you're going to initiate war, you need Congress. The president not only did not come to Congress to seek a debate or vote, he acted without even notification to the vast majority of us. This is an illegal war. I have a War Powers Resolution queued up for vote this week, and I'm encouraging my colleagues to assert the constitutional power vested in the legislative branch. More importantly, though, haven't we learned something from 25 years of war in the Middle East? Have we learned nothing? It looks like this president hasn't learned a thing. And the claims about we're going to change the regime, we're going to stop a nuclear program, there was some threat. All of the intelligence I've seen in 13 years on the Armed Services and Foreign Relations Committees tell me there was no imminent threat from Iran that justifies sending our sons and daughters into war.
Okay, and the president for now indicating there are not going to be boots on the ground. Vice President Vance saying there will be nothing protracted going on over there. We're just in day 2 at this point, so still many questions. Now, one of your colleagues, I am guessing, will not vote for your War Powers Resolution is Senator Ted Cruz. He had this to say after the strikes. He says the Iranian regime has been terrorizing and murdering Americans for 47 years, including innocent civilians, our service members, and American leaders. The Ayatollah has repeatedly tried to assassinate President Trump. Now they're seeking nuclear weapons and the ability to hit the American homeland. There's no question they're also funding proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, many other troublesome groups around the globe. Do you not consider those imminent and ongoing threats?
They're not imminent threats to the U.S. homeland. Senator Cruz is right, but he's told you half of the story. He hasn't told you of the half of the story of the U.S. toppling the Iranian government in 1953, that we were friends before that, but it's been 70 years of back and forth, U.S. shooting down an Iranian civilian aircraft, the U.S. backing Iraq in a devastating war against Iran in the 1980s. This has been back and forth between the two nations, and if more war was the answer, then we would have found the answer before now. The right answer now is for the president to do what he told the American public. He said he would be a president of peace, not war. He would stop forever wars. Instead, what you've seen is, let me count them, Iran twice, Cuba, Venezuela, strikes in the Pacific, strikes in the Caribbean, strikes in Nigeria, and threatening strikes in Cuba, Mexico, Colombia, Greenland. Meanwhile, what he said he would do as president is bring prices down. Prices are up. Growth is slowing, jobs are down, and we're going to see energy costs go up even more because of this ill-considered war launched by the president without any real provocation.
We can talk about the economic, because that's a whole nother conversation, but as we talked about last week with House Minority Leader Kim
Although
Jeffries,
it connects to this.
It does, and it's all connected. And the president has wanted energy independence from places like the Middle East because of, situations like this that are ongoing. He spoke to that on Friday in Corpus Christi, Texas. That's another conversation. I want to stay on the war issue here for a little bit longer. I want to play something.
But war. This does connect. The president wants energy independence, or so he says, while he's terminating offshore wind projects and alternative energy all over the United States. If you want U.S. energy, why are you doing that? Well, the thing that strikes me about his invasions of Venezuela and Iran is they're both nations with oil. We'll have to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, we will have to get to the bottom of that. But I want to play something from Senator Tom Cotton. He talks about one of the issues that You know, a lot of supporters of what the president's doing have said Iran was not willing to come to the table on really critical issues. Part of that was their missile system, which we showed earlier in the show, the range that they have, and that they were hoping to come up with weapons that would reach as far as the U.S. homeland. Here is a little bit of what Senator Cotton says about that threat.
They have thousands of missiles that can range all of our bases and all of our friends in the Middle East, and they hope to range the United States one day, much more than we have in missile defenses. And it's a lot easier to kill the archer on the ground before he puts the arrow in the sky.
So what about that point and the fact that they weren't even willing to discuss that?
It's important. I hope listeners today will go look at the reporting of what Iran did agree to in the negotiation with respect to its nuclear program. It's amazing the Trump administration was able to get Iran to a major set of concessions around the nuclear program, but decided to bomb them anyway. The missile issue is important. The intelligence suggests that Iran might have missiles that could reach the United States within a decade. There was nothing imminent about this.
Okay, well, to the issue of why the action now, there are a lot of skeptics out there who think that Iran's negotiators weren't actually going to follow through on things, that they weren't actually coming to the table, that there were increased delays along the way with these conversations. I want to read something from The Spectator. It says, this regime has survived war, sanctions, protests, internal dissent. It crushed mass demonstrations and absorbed the reputational cost. A struggling economy does not threaten its ideological core to the issue of sanctions. Nuclear capability is its symbol and shield. It embodies permanence, defiance, a claim to regional supremacy. Sacrifice is framed as virtue, and delay is the strategy. Were these talks anything more than delay?
Absolutely. Iran showed in the mid-2010s that it would reach a nuclear agreement and live by it. Remember, the JCPOA, under which Iran agreed never to purchase, acquire, or develop nuclear weapons, was by all accounts working. President Trump's first secretaries of defense and secretaries of state said, Mr. President, this deal is working. Iran is not moving toward a nuclear program. Please stay in the deal. President Trump ignored the advice of his key advisors, tore up the deal, and we all predicted at the time, if you tear up the deal, you will release Iran from the restrictions it agreed to. This war was almost in the cards as soon as the president made the decision that the United States would walk away from diplomacy. That was a tragic mistake, in my view.
Well, we know that they continued to enrich and make progress, and that there were sunsets on that deal that concerned a lot of folks as well.
After President Trump tore up the deal, yes.
No, during the deal, they did continue to enrich. And there were questions about being able to get inspectors in there as well, at least in a timely fashion.
Not according to the IAEA. It was after President Trump tore up the deal.
We will pick up this conversation on the other side of the break. Senator Kaine, we always appreciate your time.